Hey, what's up everybody? David here, and I'm back with another video. Today's video is actually going to be a movie review because we got surprised by something during the big game, the Super Bowl. It had been kind of rumored for a while that we were going to be seeing a trailer for the next Cloverfield film. And it was kind of like a 50-50. Nobody knew if for sure we were going to or what it was. Exactly, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, and I love the Cloverfield franchise so much. So obviously, you know, when I heard these rumors, these speculations going on, I got excited. I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and actually, it happened fairly early during the Super Bowl, during the game, that the trailer dropped, and we saw it, and we got the full title. That had been held under secrecy, and it was called the Cloverfield Paradox, and I got so pumped. I got so excited that it was pretty much like you probably would have thought like the Super Bowl was already over. That's how excited I got. I was jumping up and down. Cut to a clip of me being very excited. The trailer ended with it saying coming very soon, and you know. Obviously, I was like, well, how soon? And then the gears started turning. I'm like, well, what if they're going to drop it, like, right after the game? And sure enough, I started checking online. That was the plan. So right after the big game, they were dropping the movie on Netflix. And it's a big deal. Now, I do agree with a lot of people where I do wish that they would have given it a theatrical run, because there's nothing like seeing, especially a movie of that caliber, you know, on the big screen. But I'm so engrossed with the story already as it is, just the idea of Cloverfield, that I kind of didn't care. I wanted to see it now, and I was excited that I was going to get to see it now. So I was waiting till the game was over, obviously. Go Eagles. And so as soon as the game was over, I just kept refreshing Netflix, and finally, boom, it popped on. Essentially, the Cloverfield Paradox is about a team of astronauts that board a space station that conduct an experiment, or are attempting to conduct an experiment that will alleviate the energy crisis on Earth. And something goes haywire, something goes awry, and things happen. Now, I'm not sure if I want to get really spoilery here, but I'm gonna try not to. But here's a warning, just in case. Okay, if you have not seen the Cloverfield Paradox yet. So anyway, the movie, I always look at these Cloverfield movies, because ever since, you know, the first one, we've been wanting a sequel. We've been wanting a Cloverfield 2 for a very long time. And, then we got, years later, we got 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was very different, very, singular in a sense, story-wise. Now, I really love 10 Cloverfield Lane, because I looked at it as, okay, if there was no Cloverfield references whatsoever, that was a good movie standalone as it was. It was a really good thriller. But then they added the twist at the end that just like, whoa. Like, I was like, okay, now I see how, I guess you're calling it Cloverfield, you know, but it's different. And then after that movie came out, everybody was trying to connect the dots. You know, how did this happen? You know, the girl in the movie's carrying an iPhone, so this can't directly connect to the original Cloverfield. So people kept, again, more speculations, more rumors, and all that. And I love that stuff. So I read everything that I could regarding that. And then I started, you know, kind of digging around and thinking of things myself. And basically what J.J. Abrams and all them were saying was that these movies kind of are their own singular story and almost Twilight Zone-esque. And there is, you know, some similarities and some connections here and there, but nothing definitive, which was okay with me. So I figured that we were going to be getting, you know, another singular story. But in seeing the trailer, basically they give us the idea that this is more. I was kind of thinking that it was a sequel at first, But no, this is more in line of like a prequel to the original Cloverfield, which excited me even more because I was like, okay, we have an actual connecting movie to the original Cloverfield that happens literally on the anniversary, pretty much more or less by a couple of weeks or a week or so. So it's the 10-year anniversary of Cloverfield, and they give us a movie that is directly connected to the original Cloverfield. So I was all for it right away. And the gears start turning, as I'm watching this movie. They're aboard the space station, and things happen where it deals a lot with alternate realities and multiverses. And already I was hooked. I love that kind of stuff. I love theorizing about that kind of thing. The many worlds theory. I love that stuff. They give us a glimpse at what's going on, even though the main bulk of the story is happening on that space station. They do give us a view of what's going on Earth, more or less to a certain extent, just to give that connectivity. You know what I mean? One of the crew members aboard has a husband back down on Earth, so that kind of gives it a more grounded take on the story as well. There's actually a slight callback to 10 Cloverfield Lane, where the husband back on Earth, in New York, he finds a kid during all this whole destruction. And they actually hole up in a bunker. So I mean, there's a little bit more connectivity there, I guess you could say. The movie itself had so much suspense to it, so many thrills. It was insane to a certain extent. In certain aspects, certain moments, the insanity level was just like, okay, this is crazy. But I also looked at it as, okay, if this was, just like I looked at 10 Cloverfield Lane, if this was its own singular movie without any Cloverfield references, was it still good? And yes, it was. It really was. I dug it so much, man. And they give you a lot of clues as to why this happened, and things like that, and a lot of reasoning as to why this happened. And I loved every minute of it. There was a moment in the movie that I thought, this is not spoilery at all, but they do have a news report where this man named Mark Stambler is talking about the space station and how they shouldn't go up there and start messing with particle accelerators and things like that. It could be very dangerous. And he kind of starts talking about how it could be very dangerous for space-time, alternate realities. It could open up things that shouldn't be opened up. Now, the Twitter account is called Paradox_is_real. I tweeted at them, at that account, to see if I could get any information. And I haven't heard anything back. The account is really like, it just seems like they just created it today. There's no picture on it or nothing like that, no tweets. But I'm hoping that I hear something back there, because the viral marketing campaign for these movies can get really interesting sometimes. But anyway, the last name Stambler is actually the last name for the guy in 10 Cloverfield Lane, John Goodman's character. So there's a connection right there as well. You do see like a Slusho little miniature in there as well, and also the company name. I'm seeing if I'm pronouncing it right. Tagurato or something like that. The Japanese company that kind of starts all this stuff in a way. And he does make a really interesting comment that I caught right off the bat. And he makes a comment saying something like, they're going to open up, portals or rips, tears that could, possibly bring out monsters, demons, or beasts from the sea. Now that caught my attention right off the bat, because in 10 Cloverfield Lane, the tagline was monsters come in many forms. That's what it was. And then the beast from the sea is obviously in reference to the Cloverfield monster from the first Cloverfield movie. And there is a Cloverfield 4, believe it or not, that just they just finished filming, and the synopsis for it takes place around World War II era, and it says something along the lines of, you know, these soldiers land somewhere, and then they start experiencing supernatural, you know, encounters, and that could possibly lead or connect to the demons that he's talking about. Now, basically, the space station is the reason for these things happening, whether it be alternate universes, alternate Earths, and things like. Again, that stuff blows my mind. It really does, and it's really super interesting to somebody like me, anyway. But again, the movie was great. I really enjoyed it immensely. Really, it got kind of crazy, but it's that good crazy. You know what I mean? That good, insane type of weird stuff, which is really cool. The cast was great. Their performances were fantastic. They were spot on, and it ended in a way that was hopeful, and then there's a nice little thing right at the very end for us big Cloverfield fans. So I don't know. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I cannot wait till part 4. I don't know what they're gonna do with part 4. It seems like this is gonna be a thing, and you know, Netflix might pick that one up as well. Who knows? I don't know just yet, but it seems like we're gonna be getting part 4 sometime this year, which is very exciting as well. Like I said, I'm completely like engrossed in this story, and I cannot wait to see where this goes, how this is going to continue further. Is this going to be? I have this thing where I'm thinking that maybe it's going to be like a 1-in-1 type of movie, where okay, we got Cloverfield, then we get 10 Cloverfield Lane, which feels like it's its own, you know, movie that doesn't really connect, you know, to a certain extent. And then we have, you know, obviously the Cloverfield Paradox, which directly does connect to the first one. Are we going to get another movie that feels like it's just, you know, by itself, but kind of slightly connects to everything else? This movie, they pretty much gave you the reason as to why everything happened, everything started, which I thought was a good way to go. It's a prequel route, but it feels almost sequel-esque or like side by side to the original Cloverfield movie, which is really good. This movie also kind of poses some ethical questions as well, because given the fact that they do deal with I guess alternate Earths, multiverses, or what have you, the multiple Earths theory. What would you do? It kind of asks you the question: what would you do if you found out that your life was better than what it actually was on this different Earth? You know, and it's a really interesting question, and I tried to kind of ask myself that, and yeah, it's kind of hard to decide something like that, and yeah, so I thought that was a really interesting aspect of the film as well. Now, if I had to give this movie a score, it's probably gonna have to be like an 8 out of 10, just because you know, it's not as good as the original. I love it. It's a really good movie. It's not as good as the original. It's not as unique or inventive as the original was. But it's still very good in its own right, and I love the fact that we are getting connectivity to the original film. So I dig that. So yeah, I have to give it like an 8 out of 10. So what did you guys think of the Cloverfield Paradox? Where do you think that this series is headed? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you dug it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I will be coming back with more videos. And with all that being said, we will catch you next time.